Before Toyota ever told you to pour in something as thin as0W-8. Their entire engineering philosophy lived on the opposite end of the spectrum, and it wasn't an accident. It was a necessity. To understand that, you have to step into the era of engines like the Toyota 1MZ-Phi, the 1NZ-Phi engine, and the 2UZ-Phi engine. These engines were designed when durability wasn't just a goal, it was the entire idea. And the way Toyota achieved that durability looks very different from what we see today. If you're someone who cares about protecting your vehicle with real facts instead of marketing hype, hit that subscribe button right now. Internally, these engines were built with relatively large clearances between moving parts. The gap between the crankshaft and bearings was intentionally more forgiving. Manufacturing precision was good for its time, but not at the microscopic tolerances modern engines operate under. That meant one thing: the oil itself had to do more of the work. So Toyota leaned heavily on thicker oils like 0W-30 and 5W-30. At operating temperature, these oils maintain a higher viscosity, which translates to a thicker hydrodynamic oil film separating metal surfaces. And that film wasn't just helpful, it was the primary defense mechanism against wear. Higher viscosity means a more robust separation layer, especially under load. In simple terms, thick oil was insurance against imperfect conditions. And those conditions were everywhere. Oil passages were simpler and less optimized, meaning flow distribution wasn't as precisely controlled. Cold starts were harsher because thinner oils weren't engineered to maintain stability across wide temperature ranges. Add to that less advanced surface treatments, and you see why engineers preferred to overbuild protection into the lubricant itself. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The oil wasn't trusted for very long. Oil change intervals were short, typically 3,000 to 5,000 miles. That reflected the limitations of oil chemistry at the time. Additive packages degraded faster, oxidation resistance was lower, and contamination built up quickly. Instead of stretching oil life, the strategy was simple: replace it before it becomes a problem. This approach worked incredibly well. Many of these engines routinely exceeded 300,000 kilometers with minimal internal wear, because they were fundamentally tolerant. But if thick oil and short intervals created such durable engines, why did Toyota ever move away from this formula? Because the problem was never durability alone, it was everything else that durability was costing. By the early 2000s, with the 2AZ-Phi engine, Toyota started rewriting its engineering priorities. Manufacturing precision improved significantly. Clearances tightened across the board. Machining technology reduced variability on a mass production scale. Toyota began integrating early versions of variable valve timing, adding hydraulic complexity that depended on stable oil flow. Suddenly, oil wasn't just a protective layer, it became an active control fluid inside the engine. Global pressure to reduce fuel consumption and emissions was starting to influence engine design. Friction reduction became a real target. Lighter components, lower tension piston rings, and more efficient oil pumps all started appearing in this generation. While the engine evolved, the lubrication strategy stayed at 5W-30, carrying the thick film philosophy from the previous era. Lower tension piston rings reduce friction, but they rely more on precise sealing and oil control. Combine that with tighter clearances and higher operating temperatures, and the oil is operating in a very different environment. Toyota did extend oil change intervals to 5,000 to 7,500 miles. It signals confidence in modern base oils and additive chemistry. Toyota's manuals state that 0W-20 is the best choice for fuel economy and cold starting performance. If a grade like 5W-20 is used temporarily, it must be replaced with 0W-20 at the next service. That wording is precise. But this progress introduces a new constraint. As viscosity drops, the system becomes more sensitive. Thinner oil has less margin under high thermal stress, meaning stability depends heavily on additive quality. The oil is no longer just protecting the engine, it is actively participating in how the engine functions. With the arrival of dynamic force engines like the A25AFKS, Toyota pushes this concept further. Internal tolerances are even tighter, with surface finishes enhanced using diamond-like carbon coatings. Even the oil pump is no longer fixed. ACU-controlled variable oil pumps adjust pressure based on demand. Advanced valve train technologies like dual VVTIE rely on oil pressure as a working fluid to adjust timing dynamically. That's why the recommended viscosity drops again, this time to 0W-16 as the primary choice. Toyota's manual emphasizes that 0W-16 is required to optimize both performance and fuel economy. But this is where the margin begins to narrow. Thinner oil operates with less buffer under high thermal stress, which means its stability depends more heavily on chemical resilience than physical thickness. Contamination becomes more impactful as well. Fuel dilution, which can occur during short trips or cold operation, lowers viscosity further. In a system already optimized for low resistance, that change becomes more significant. The 10,000-mile interval assumes controlled conditions and steady operation. When those assumptions break, degradation accelerates. So this phase introduces a new balance. Efficiency increases, but the system becomes more condition-dependent. The oil is no longer a passive layer you can overspec for safety. It's a calibrated component that has to operate within a defined window. Emissions regulations act as a silent constraint. Standards like U.S. corporate average fuel economy targets and European CO2 limits reach down to fluid selection. When you reduce oil viscosity, you reduce internal friction, translating directly into measurable reductions in fuel consumption. Even a 1% improvement in efficiency can be the difference between meeting or missing a fleet-wide emissions target. But there's another layer to this story when you look at hybrid systems. Vehicles like the Toyota Prius and RAV4 hybrid don't operate traditionally. Their engines, like the Toyota 825 AFXS, are constantly cycling on and off. That creates a lubrication scenario that older engines were never designed for. Every time the engine shuts down, oil begins to drain away from certain surfaces, making the next restart resemble a partial cold start. The lubrication system is no longer dealing with one startup per trip, it's dealing with reinitialization events. In that environment, the time it takes for oil to circulate becomes critical. Reducing viscosity significantly shortens the delay before full oil pressure stabilizes. The move toward thinner oil is the intersection of internal precision, external regulation, and the operating behaviors of hybrid systems. By the time viscosity drops into 0W-20 and 0W-16 range, what looks like thin oil is actually a complete redesign of the fluid. Modern base stocks like PAO and esters bring a level of thermal stability and molecular uniformity that older mineral oils simply didn't have. The real transformation happens in the additive package. Friction modifiers like molybdenum form films that reduce contact even when the oil is extremely thin. These oils meet strict standards like APISP and ILS-ACGF6, which target timing chain wear and low-speed pre-ignition protection. In engines like the Toyota M15 AFXE, the focus is on extreme efficiency. Here, 0W-8 began appearing in official service documentation. At this level, the reduction in internal resistance is measurable. Even a few tenths of a percent in fuel economy matter in a regulatory environment. The same engine does not always run the same oil. In the US, a Toyota 2AR runs 0W-20, while in harsher regions, it might use 0W-30. The hardware remains the same, but the strategy adjusts. Oil choice is no longer just a technical decision, but a response to how the engine lives.